Welcome back to another video on the channel. Again, recording a video after a thriller match involving Elena Svitolina, which seems to be becoming a recurring theme. I'm going to be reviewing the Abu Dhabi quarterfinals, which were four fantastic matches, and also previewing and predicting the semi-finals, which take place tomorrow. So kicking things off with the first quarterfinal played between Aryna Sabalenka and Elena Rybakina. This match was played at 6 o'clock in the morning in the UK time, but it was definitely worth getting up for. It was a really quality match. These two are two quality, aggressive players, very young. They've got huge futures ahead of them, and they played out a fantastic match, a fantastic advert for women's tennis. The first 9 games went with serve. It was Rybakina that did eventually blink first in that opening set, playing a poor service game to allow Sabalenka to gain the big opening set 6-4. I think Rybakina responded very well in set 2. She took advantage of a Sabalenka lapse early in the second set. But the first 2 sets were just real high quality tennis, consistently good serving, attacking the short balls, power and winners. And both players really looked at home on a fast hard court. In set 3, I think you could see that Sabalenka was on a 12-match winning streak going into the match. She had full belief in herself to win the decider, no signs of nerves, had a real plan A and executed it perfectly well. She served and returned brilliantly, which allowed it to continue on the front foot. I don't think Rybakina done a lot wrong, particularly in the third set. I think she was a little bit tentative at times. She hasn't won the WTA titles in the big matches like Sabalenka has. I think she could have taken more risks and attacked Sabalenka more, but it was very difficult. Sabalenka was going big on the first and second shot and really pushing Rybakina back. But I do think, Rybakina's had a very good start to 2021. I think, she's in a position to have a very good season. Sabalenka's defence and movement was impressive in this game. She's adding consistency to her game all the time. On a 13-match winning streak, and all roads lead to trying to win this title and win the Australian Open in February. I'm sure she's, fully confident she can do that. Moving on to Sofia Kenin against Maria Sakkari, and we all know Sakkari's become a typically slow starter. She was love 3 down to Coco Gauff in 10 or 15 minutes of the day. She threw away the open set in this match. The contrast between her level at the start of matches and then her level in sets 2 or 3 is quite staggering. It's like a different player on court. I think Kenin did start the match well, which she needed to do. I said in my preview that I don't think we've seen the best of Sofia Kenin by any stretch at this tournament yet, and she would need to improve a lot to beat Sakkari, and she did do that in the opening set. She served better than she had been in previous rounds. She was getting in the middle of the court and on top of the baseline, using those precise, clean ground strokes to move Sakkari around the court. And I was very impressed with Kenin. She got the depth from early on. She was consistently finding the lines, keeping Sakkari back behind the baseline, keeping Sakkari on the move, not allowed to use them big ground strokes. But Sakkari was very poor in that opening set. She was trying to go big from too deep in the court, missing wildly. But the tables turned in set 2. Sakkari found that world-class first serve, started to really time the ball, find the forehands, find the cross-court backhands, and Kenin just had no answers. Kenin's first serve percentage dropped, and Sakkari just punished what's, in my opinion, average second serve for Kenin. I think that's a part of the game that she really needs to improve on. She serves a lot of second serves, double faults, and a lot of second serves in the middle of the box, which Sakkari just took huge advantage of, and Kenin didn't really have any answers. Sakkari got into a rhythm and was just relentless. Sakkari ended up winning 10 consecutive games, which is worrying from Kenin's point of view. Kenin's game's built on that fight, the ability to adapt and take close deciding sets, but Sakkari just utterly dominated that match from set 2 onwards. Relentless ball striking, 9 aces, and just a brilliant player. She's in the form of her life. She's now beat Coco Gauff, Garbine Muguruza and Sofia Kenin in straight sets. And 3 fantastic wins there, and should be fully confident now of going on to lift this title. So talking about that first semi-final between Aryna Sabalenka and Maria Sakkari, how do you pick a winner? You've got Sabalenka on one hand, who's on a 13-match winning streak, adding consistency, better defence to her power pack game. Sakkari, as I said, has got them 3 wins over top 50 players in straight sets. She's hit over 20 aces, and in the last 2 matches, over 50 winners. I'm going to go with Sakkari just. I feel a double-handed backhand is slightly more reliable and aggressive than Sabalenka's, and she has beaten the better opposition this week. But overall I'll just be watching as a fan. You know, it's guaranteed to be a thriller with lots of aces, lots of winners, momentum shifts, and it's whoever can execute their game style the best. The problem for Sakkari is that she's a slow starter. You know, if she gives Sabalenka a lead and gives to the opening set she did today, then it could be a long road back. I think this first set is very important, and Sakkari will have to start a lot better than she has in the 2 previous rounds. But I'm going to go Maria Sakkari to reach the Abu Dhabi Open final. Now moving on to the second semi-final between Marta Kostyuk and Veronika Kudermetova. Kostyuk is a fantastic prospect. You know, at 18 years old, she was a fantastic junior. She pushed Naomi Osaka to 3 sets at last year's Australian Open. She's targeting to be inside the top 50 at the end of this year. And if she continues like she played today, then she'll certainly achieve them goals very quickly. You know, her ground strokes explode through the court. She seems to rip the paint off the ball with every shot, but whatever she does, it works. And she does have the potential to be a star. We know we don't like to big these players up too early and, you know, expect too much of them early, but you can't help but be excited by the talent of Marta Kostyuk. Matches like today, I feel, are great learning experiences, and I was mightily impressed with not just the ground strokes and the hitting ability of Kostyuk, but also the mental ability and her ability to turn the match around. You know, Sara Sorribes-Tormo is very unorthodox. She offers different paces, slices, counter-punch and great defence, and you have to find a way to break down the wall. You know, Sorribes-Tormo, in my opinion, is a very crafty player. She's brilliant in the way she does switch up the paces. She asks you to attack and develop your own pace, and it's very difficult to do. The first set was all about Sara Sorribes-Tormo in this match. You know, Kostyuk struggled with the defence and shot variety, and she was guilty of just trying to blast through Sorribes-Tormo at any opportunity, you know, which played into Sorribes-Tormo's hands. She just switched up the pace, asked Kostyuk to go big, and, you know, error after error came on, particularly on the Kostyuk forehand. The second set, Kostyuk settled. You know, she was more patient. She timed her attacks, was willing to rally with Sorribes-Tormo, and then pick the right ball to attack and hit through the ball, attack the net, which brought us success. You know, in that first set, she was just trying to leather every single ball, and, you know, it was just flying everywhere. In the second set, she did time her attacks a lot better, picked the right balls to go for, and yeah, brought the second set very comfortably. The final set, I felt Sorribes-Tormo used her experience again, using all the variations, chasing down every ball, asking Kostyuk to play extra shots, didn't make unforced errors, and it did really ask questions of the teenager. At times, I think Sorribes-Tormo was aggressive too. You know, she had a couple of nice forehand winners, but Kostyuk was so impressive, as I mentioned at the very start. You know, she backed herself to create the pace, break down Sorribes-Tormo. It was a bit of cat and mouse in that final set. You know, Sorribes-Tormo was trying to draw Kostyuk into the net and hit passing shots. Kostyuk backed herself, a very solid volleyer, and she was up to the task. Took the deciding set 6-4. It was a very interesting match to watch. You know, it was a great learning curve for Kostyuk. First ever WTA semi-final, and I'm sure she'll learn a great deal from that win over Sorribes-Tormo against a very unorthodox, different opponent. Moving on to the final quarter-final match between Kudermetova and Svitolina. Kudermetova was mightily impressive in this match. You know, she timed the ball and fired winners from ball one. Svitolina didn't quite get the consistent depth in the early games, which was punished. She did use the variations and tried to impose herself, but Kudermetova was out-hitting Svitolina, winning the long rallies, which we have come to expect Svitolina to dominate over the years. Svitolina really had to ride the storm in that opening set, serve well, dig in and wait for Kudermetova's level to drop. That didn't really happen throughout the match. I always felt Svitolina would warm into the match, start finding angles and forcing errors from the racket of Kudermetova, but as I say, they never really came. At 5-5, Kudermetova did blink a little bit and Svitolina really zoned in, got a big break and took the opening set 7-5, and from that point onwards, I did think, you know, Svitolina, full of confidence, she would start to consistently find the lines, get that consistent depth, and Kudermetova would start missing wildly and chase the game. But again, she proved me wrong, and she was very, very impressive. She just started to nail the first serve. Kudermetova, she hit 10 plus aces, lots of winners, and she looked the winner for a long, long way in that match. I think she played the better tennis probably throughout. But Svitolina, as we've come to know during the years, she just digs in. You know, she was a breakdown on the decider, but wouldn't allow Kudermetova to pull clear. Eventually, Svitolina did get that break back. She held the love, and the momentum of the match seemed to completely swing in her favour. I thought, you know, at 5-5 in that decider, that Svitolina was a lot more experienced in these situations. You know, she beat Alexandrova yesterday 10-8 in a match-deciding tie-break after saving the 2 match points. Svitolina was 2 points from the match at one point, but Kudermetova again just remained positive, kept going for her shots, and she did actually serve for the match at 6-5, to which Svitolina responded, and there was just so many different momentum shifts in this final set that a match-deciding tie-break was undoubtedly the fairest way to decide it. Kudermetova dominated the match-deciding tie-break. You know, I think she was slightly frustrated that she hadn't won the match at that point, and she just tried to, you know, hit the leather off the ball, really dominate every single point, get on the forehand, serve well, and she won the match-deciding tie-break 7-3, and I think she was thoroughly deserving of the match. She, full props again for a great win against the spirited Svitolina. We know how hard Svitolina battles, the different variations that she's got, the consistency that she brings, doesn't make the enforced errors that a lot of players do, and Kudermetova backed herself to hit through the defences, and she's done exactly that in the biggest moments. And to come back from a set down against Svitolina is a fantastic and difficult thing to do. So Kostyuk against Kudermetova, you know, it's obviously an incredible opportunity for both players. Neither have ever reached a WTA final, so again, a fantastic opportunity for 2 young players that probably didn't see themselves reaching the final at the start of this week. Again, a semi-final that's very difficult to pick in my opinion. They're both on the back of quality wins from sets down. Both got big aggressive games. Will come down to who executes better on the day and time their attacks. I think whoever's the most patient and is willing to rally and pick the right opportunities to go for the big shot will win. I'm going to give the slight edge to Kudermetova. I think she's got a better first serve than Kostyuk. You know, she serves quite a lot of aces, which could be handy in a tight, nervy match. She's also 5 years older than Kostyuk, so should handle her nerves better if there's any out on court. I expect Kostyuk to make it very close. You know, I was super impressed by the way she adapted against Ryba's Tormo today, but I will edge slightly towards Kudermetova. So that's going to be it for this video. Please leave your comments in the comment section below of your predictions for the semi-finals. Do also follow me and subscribe. I will leave me a link to my Twitter in the description below, where I'll be covering the semi-finals as I've done for the full tournament. Thanks for watching the video. Finally, my predictions for the semi-finals are Kudermetova and Maria Sakkari, and I'll be back tomorrow to review those semi-finals and look ahead to Wednesday's final. Thanks for watching again, and I will see you on the next video.